Right now, you are moving at over 1,600 kilometers per hour, faster than a fighter jet. You don't feel it because everything around you is moving at the exact same speed. But what happens in the next 60 seconds if that speed suddenly hits zero? The Earth spins. That's not new information, but almost nobody thinks about what that spin actually means for the ground under your feet right now at this exact moment. At the equator, the surface of the planet is moving at about 1,670 kilometers per hour, just from rotation alone. Closer to the poles, that speed drops, all the way down to zero at the very top and bottom of the planet. Now imagine that speed, everywhere on Earth, simply stopped. Not slowed down gradually, stopped, instantly, in under a second. Here's the part almost nobody thinks about. The ground would stop, but you wouldn't. Neither would the ocean, neither would the air. Inertia doesn't care that the planet decided to stop moving. Everything not bolted directly into solid rock would keep moving at that original speed for a fraction of a second in whatever direction the spin was carrying it. At the equator, that's over 1,600 kilometers per hour, faster than the speed of sound. Buildings wouldn't just shake, they would be ripped from their foundations and hurled sideways. Cars, trees, entire neighborhoods launched horizontally like they'd been fired from a cannon. And that's before the wind even arrives, because the atmosphere itself is also moving at that same rotational speed. When the ground stops but the air doesn't, you get wind, everywhere on the planet, moving at speeds faster than any hurricane in recorded history. Fast enough to scrape the surface of the Earth down to bare rock in some regions. The oceans do something even stranger. All that water, still carrying its original momentum, gets thrown violently toward the poles. We're talking continent-sized waves, not tsunamis in the normal sense, but entire oceans physically relocating in a matter of hours. Coastal cities wouldn't just flood, many of them would simply cease to exist. Meanwhile, closer to the poles, where rotational speed was already close to zero, the destruction would be far less extreme. If you wanted the safest place on Earth for this exact scenario, it would be Antarctica. But let's say, somehow, you survived the first few hours. The nightmare isn't over, it's just getting started. Earth still orbits the sun, even with its spin gone, which means the planet no longer has a 24-hour day, it has a one-year day. One side of the Earth would face the sun for 6 straight months of relentless heat. The other side would sit in 6 months of absolute darkness and cold. The side in permanent daylight would slowly bake. The side in permanent night would freeze solid. Somewhere in between, in a narrow strip of the planet, you'd get something close to livable temperatures for a while. And there's one more problem, one that takes longer to show up, but might be the most dangerous of all. Earth's magnetic field is generated deep underground by the movement of molten metal in our planet's core, movement partly driven by our rotation. Slow that rotation down to nothing, and over time, that magnetic field could begin to weaken. That field is the only thing standing between us and a constant stream of radiation from the sun. Without it, over a long enough time frame, the atmosphere itself could slowly get stripped away, the same way scientists believe it happened to Mars billions of years ago. So no, the Earth stopping isn't something that's likely to happen tomorrow. Physically, nothing we know of could stop a planet's rotation that fast, that suddenly. This is a thought experiment, not a prediction. But scientists actually do run simulations like this one, not because they expect it to happen, but because modeling extreme scenarios helps them understand the systems that quietly keep our planet livable every single day. Systems we never think about until someone asks what happens if they stopped. If this ever did happen for real, you wouldn't get a warning, you wouldn't get a countdown, and you wouldn't get a chance to run. If this is the kind of thing your brain can't stop thinking about, follow, because we're just getting started with what if.